There's something about a well-executed platformer that brings back those happy memories of childhood for me. Wasting those precious sunlight hours slowly progressing through levels of Sonic, Crash Bandicoot, Mario, Spyro and Megaman. Avoiding dangers, losing lives, harnessing new abilities, the frustration, the elation. It's a wonderful mix, and it's one of the reasons I adore the genre to this day. So today, I thought we'd take a look at Bat-Boy, a newcomer stepping up to the plate from developer X Plus Co Ltd. Released on the 25th of May, it is currently available on Steam for £12.99. It brings the 8-bit style 2D platformer into the sporting arena, with a few new wrinkles to boot. Imagine Megaman, but instead of a cannon, Bat-Boy is bringing his bombastic bat. On the face of it, the game has it all. An interesting premise, plenty of content, and a distinctive look and sound. But as we've seen in previous reviews of mine, all it takes is one bad bunt, and the game is outta here. So the question is, and forgive me for the obvious pun here, is the game a home run, or does it strike out? This is my review of 2023's Bat-Boy. The game's synopsis reads, Ryosuke isn't just your regular high school kid. He and his fellow sports star friends secretly battle against the evil invading forces of Lord Vicious, hell-bent on hosting sinister athletic events for his own amusement. Ryosuke is Bat-Boy. Play as Bat-Boy in this 2D side-scrolling action platformer in which the interdimensional mage Lord Vicious has brainwashed Bat-Boy's fellow teammates in order to participate in the Trials of Darkness, a heinously brutal series of athletic events. It's up to Bat-Boy to team up with the mouthy crow, Garu, traversing a hostile world to free the minds of his sports hero teammates and learn their skills before they fall victim to the trials. Along the way, Bat-Boy will encounter all manner of characters, some allies, most not, as he fights his way through the bad guys in a variety of levels until reaching the final confrontation with Lord Vicious. Bat-Boy pits the titular hero against the former allies of his sports team, such as Racket Girl, Shinai Guy, Aquaria, and Mr. Blitzer, among others, as he travels through the many regions beyond Lord Vicious's dimensional gateway. Well, there's a lot to cover here, but the aim of the game is to traverse a bunch of levels, defeating the bosses, freeing them, gaining new abilities, and collecting gems to spend improving Bat-Boy to ultimately defeat the game's biggest of bads, Lord Vicious. The game's story is told through multiple interactions with Ryosuke and Gado as they traverse the game's world, coming into contact with a whole host of colourful characters, both sports and animal themed. Albeit on the speedrun mode, they're omitted almost entirely, and on second playthroughs, the game skips these conversations to allow you to crack on. Ryosuke will beat a level and then come face to face with a former teammate, exchange barbs, beat some sense into the bemused boss, who in gratitude will show our hero a new ability or super move. What's great is that the story is as simple as it gets without being boring, given how lovely and quirky the character interactions are. But if you want to start to get to playing, then you can skip all the chit chat entirely. But the little bits of lore here or there really do give this game that little bit of extra gravitas that makes the interactions and battles a bit more exciting. It's not just a power up we're gaining, we're freeing the minds of our friends who, once free, gather at this neat little pub, the Groovy House, run by Boarman. He's a man who's a boar. And here the chats evolve as the game progresses and you free more and more of your teammates. It slowly becomes somewhere you like to get away. You know, where everyone knows your name and they're mostly glad you came. The dynamic between Ryosuke and Garu is good too. Ryosuke playing a white meat babyface and Garu the more wisecracking and almost self-aware meta-comic relief. Between them, they provide a good duo, and one that I enjoyed playing as throughout the game. The combat and platforming in this game are simply magnificent, sharp, responsive, ever-changing and evolving, simple, yet very difficult to master, with so many neat little touches and nuances that ensure the game is never boring. Bat-Boy is armed with a bat that he can use to hit enemies into other enemies, deflect projectiles into enemies and levers, and acts as a double jump when he hits certain level components or even threats coming his way. Or as the game describes it, swing, deflect, spin and power hit your way through exciting baseball-style combat. He will also gain additional abilities throughout the game by defeating bosses such as a protective bubble, a grapple, a samurai-style slashing dash, a bull rush, wall jumping, and that's just to name a few. What's great is that this makes levels replayable, not just to perfect an existing run, but to explore aspects you couldn't without these abilities. You'll replay levels 4 or 5 times, and each time find something new and awesome as a reward. Not to say these levels aren't hard, and trust me, as you progress through the game, there are new enemies, new dangers, traps and platforming sequences that will put your skills to the test, and if you make it to the boss, these bosses will push your currently acquired abilities to the very limit. This means you're gonna die, or rather strike out, and the game keeps track of how many times you strike out on a level, and it's quite funny to see it rack up into double digits if you're bad at the game like I am. But what's great is that the game's checkpoint system is very generous for a platforming game. Not only are they spaced very evenly throughout a level, but they also replenish your stamina and your hit points. And as a result, it feels like a little safe haven, little breaks that give you a moment to sigh before braving the remainder of a level. You begin the game with 3 hit points and stamina points each, but as you progress you can collect or purchase seeds with gems that you collect to spend in shops scattered throughout the map, and these in tandem with your acquired abilities will help you tackle the more complex sections or enemies with careful expenditure of your health and stamina. And if you pay attention, you'll become more attuned to when to spend your stamina, when to take a hit, how to deflect or time your runs to make it through to the next checkpoint. And as a result, the highest compliment I can pay this game is it feels incredibly tough at times, but never impossible or cheap, and only ever fun. Enemies are plentiful and diverse, levels are thick with hidden doors, passages and treasures to find. There's collectible seeds and tracks that you can play at the Groovy House. There's side quests, additional non-story related levels with extra power-ups you can then purchase from vending machines as you play the levels. But most importantly, there's always a way through. So long as you remember what's at your disposal, the game's designers have clearly approached the levels, the abilities and the flow of gameplay by always asking, how do we keep it fun and engaging? And I'm so pleased to say they nailed it here. With one small caveat. While the game does a great job of teaching you its world and offers non-skippable tutorials for each new ability you earn, it never makes you aware of the upgrades you can buy for your health or stamina. I went through about a third of the game before I realised you could do that, and by then I was goddamn Zen Master with the 3 paltry points I was given at the start of the game. So maybe, in a future patch, just a bit of dialogue could be added to remind the player they have points to burn. As my good friend Cyril Lachelle suggested, perhaps this could be something Garou could say as exposition. As far as the game's style and design, again it's wonderful. Not a glitch or bug to be found, no quirks of gameplay or odd design choices. The game is rock solid. I really love the individual designs of the characters. Ryosuke has a simply great yet recognisable style, and while the Megaman comparisons are rife, each boss having a sporting theme with accompanying ability really is awesome. And the NPCs are all unique and fun to interact with, sometimes offering quests or bonuses for your efforts. The music and sound design are fantastic, thematic, energetic. The levels are all unique, not just in look but layout too. The beach has underwater levels that can change the way your jump functions. The factory is mechanised with time slowdowns and treadmills, so everything not only looks great but fits well with the theme and adds extra depth of the gameplay, and all ratchets up the tension to the boss fights, which always have a checkpoint just before to give you the best chance to succeed. There's multiple save slots in case you want to try new approaches to the game. The map allows you to traverse between levels and shops. There are so many different levels to choose from too, meaning that if you fancy replaying a level just for the fun of it, you can. And since gems replenish each time you start a level, if you're ever stuck, not only is it fun to replay those older levels with new abilities, it's helpful getting you through the ones you're stuck on as well. Honestly, I could rave about this game forever. However, I can sum it up by saying that this is the type of game I wish all games were more like, at least in its execution and approach. Simple to pick up, difficult to master, encourages you to try and rewards you for completing. No matter how stuck I was on a level, I never stopped having fun, and I never stopped wanting to go another round with it, and once I beat a level, I felt empowered to tackle the next one. Gorgeous to look at, sounds wonderful, plays better, tons of content that's hours of fun to get stuck into. There isn't a thing I'd change about this game minus our caveat from earlier. Bat-Boy is utterly terrific, a home run, and a game I'm pitching that you should definitely swing by Steam and check out right now. Well, that'll about do it for me. Thank you very much for watching this edition of the Halcyon Show. I've been your host, Lorne Risley. Please like, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews and videos in the future. And as always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next episode.